morning, everybody. Welcome to another episode of the Sports You Enthusiasm Podcast. By now, you should know me. I am your humble host, Bryce Benjamin. And here, as always, with my co-host, Edward Jesse.
I ain't humble. It's me. What I do?
Zero humbleness. All the humbleness is coming from me. But this is your weekly podcast about all your favorite sports topics and events.
Hey, hold on, man. I just going to skip the hey, how you doing? And I say, oh, I'm good. I just got to work. And then I say, how are you? And then you would say something about your morning. Like, you just skipping everything?
No, I was actually about to get to that.
No, you did. That's how you.
No, I skipped that part. So then I had to go back to that part to get back to that part. No, that's a good part. That's an important part.
All right, do it.
I just did it.
Oh, okay.
How's your morning, man? How you doing?
I'm all right.
God damn.
I just ate some chips. I just got off of work.
Chips, the breakfast of champions.
Yeah, I don't eat at work, so I go a whole 14 hours without eating, and then I usually will binge eat some bullshit, but not too much bullshit, but one little bad item. So I just had my one little bad item. Okay, that was some chips, dill pickle chips.
I like to start my morning off with a bowl of oatmeal, some fruit, and my multivitamin.
I like that. Okay,
yeah,
Okay,
we out here.
This is my nighttime though.
Yeah, you do. You did work
for right now. Night, so. Yeah, I worked last night.
That makes sense. So
I missed the game.
Yeah. You missed a hell of a game, man.
I got to see some highlights and stuff, but I didn't get to watch it.
I got you. So yeah, that's where we're going to start off with. Is first of all, big congratulations to the now world champion Toronto Raptors.
Mm-hmm.
First one in their history.
Yep.
First championship in their history. There was able to close out Golden State in a very, very entertaining Game 6. In Golden State. And for those who don't know, Toronto actually went 3-0 in this series in Golden State. And, had their nice closeout game there. Overall, NBA Finals, the series was really good. It was really good. And I think with the injury to Kevin Durant, before the series started and then even during the series, kind of evened out the playing field and then made Golden State very vulnerable. But I want to talk about Game 6. I know you didn't get a chance to watch it, right?
Right. Okay. I got to see a little spurty stuff, but I didn't get to watch the game.
All right. So, yeah, you pretty much got the quick notes on it.
Yeah.
So, just to give you my thoughts on the game, first of all, Kyle Lowry, beginning of the game, he started off hot. He came out with a man on a mission, and it seemed like that he wanted to make up for the Game 5 performance that he had, which he didn't play too great. He didn't play terrible, but he didn't play great.
Him and Klay started off hot, right?
Yeah. Him and Klay was Klay too. Klay was another one, and we're gonna talk about him as well. But first half, really, Kyle Lowry was in attack mode from jump, and he was looking really solid. So first half, I want to give a shout out to Kyle Lowry. He looked really good. He was pulling jumpers with confidence. He was taking it to the rim, finishing over the centers and whatnot, and looked really good. And was very active on defense as well. Kawhi Leonard, it took a little while for him to get going, but it was one of those things where you really didn't worry about it, was because he's Kawhi. You just knew that he's not going to stay silent for too long. So yeah, he got going, and I think he finished up with over 20 points, like 25 or something like that in points. Klay Thompson for Golden State, he was really the main man for Game 6 for Golden State. And you look at Klay Thompson's history. Whenever Golden State is in a Game 6 and threatened to be eliminated, he shows up big time. And tonight was nothing different. Like, Game 6 Klay is no joke. He had literally
Game 6 Klay is the Terminator.
Yeah, seriously.
That boy is real.
He was locked in. He was locked in from jump. He had 30 points in 30 minutes before his unfortunate knee injury that he suffered in the third quarter. And even when he got hurt, he came back and was able to knock down 2 free throws and before he eventually was out for the rest of the game. And we're going to dive into Klay Thompson a little bit as well about his injury and the impact that's going to have. But overall, man, it was a really back and forth game. I want to give kudos to Golden State because they was severely undermanned. And I mean, you didn't have Durant. You didn't have Durant for majority of the series. He literally played 11 minutes in the series before he ruptured his Achilles, which is unfortunate as hell. But it is what it is kind of now. And then when Klay Thompson went down in the third quarter, it was one of those things. It's like, damn, how long can they keep this up? And kudos to them. Steve Kerr was making the necessary adjustments. Iguodala was stepping up big time to become a factor offensively for them because, like, really the only offensive weapon they really had on the floor at that point was Steph Curry, who really, honestly, man, Steph Curry did not show up for this game 6, man. He looked really bad. He didn't look like typical Steph Curry. No, actually, no. I'm never gonna give him a break on that one. He looked really bad. He looked really bad. It's fucked up, but he did.
He shot 6 of 17, 3 of 11 from downtown.
Yeah, and
he had a block.
Yeah, he did. That was actually a nice block he had on. I think it was Van Vliet.
7 dimes too.
Mm-hmm. How many turnovers did he have?
He didn't have that many. 3.
3 turnovers. Okay.
It was Draymond that was turning the ball over left and right. He had 8.
Yeah. Draymond was he stepped up well. Draymond was playing really well.
I saw that there was quite a few turnovers that were quote unquote mindless, like kind of like stupid turnovers.
Yeah, especially towards in the latter part of the game where he did just like kind of throw it away. And I do want to give Draymond his credit due because he really was the one that also elevated his game on both ends of the floor. Like defensively, he would go and he's making crazy rotations and switches to help out on Lowry or Van Vliet or Kawhi Leonard, and then he's out rebounding like Marc Gasol and Serge Ibaka and Pascal Siakam, and he's probably the littlest dude out of all of them, but you could tell that extra fight with him was there tonight.
Yeah, today he passed. I don't know who he passed, but he became the third player in NBA history to have a triple-double in an elimination game. He only trails Magic Johnson with 8 and LeBron James with 10. He has 3.
Yeah, man, it was something nice.
So,
man.
I mean, he did show up. I mean, he only shot 5 of 10. He had 11 points, but I mean, he still had 19 rebounds and 13 dimes, but he did have 8 turnovers.
It seems like throughout this series, Nick Nurse, he definitely outcoached Steve Kerr and throughout this whole series. And the different looks that he was able to throw at Golden State through these 6 games defensively really messed up Golden State's flow on offense. That boxing 1 defense, like where the fuck did that even come from? He deployed that in what was that game 1 or game 2? Excuse me, game 2, where they was able to shut Golden State's whole offense down for like a good 5-minute stretch, and it got him back into the game. When he would go to that defense during certain segments of the game during the series, it really stumbled Golden State, and it seemed like they never figured it out. Golden State never figured it out, and it seemed like Steve Kerr kind of try to take a page from Nick Nurse, and he tried to do a zone, but he was doing a 2-3 zone, but it didn't work out too well because first of all, you got Boogie Cousins out there, and that's when they was trying to run the zone, and he's really slow trying to get to those corners to try to get to the shooters and stop those corner threes. So Toronto got a couple of good looks from those in this game 6, and then but, kudos to Steve Kerr, man. He tried to do something different, and it kind of did stumble Toronto at the beginning, but then, eventually they just kind of figured it out, and they kind of forced them to get out of that zone defense there. But it just goes to show, like, the chess match that was going on between Steve Kerr and Nick Nurse, and it was obvious, like, Nick Nurse, he really outcoached Steve Kerr in these finals. And then also, Kerr did the best he can with what he had. Yeah, you lose the best player on your team in Kevin Durant, and then eventually, like Klay Thompson, he missed a game, and he was hurt with that hamstring. Iguodala, he's hurt. Boogie Cousins, he's not who he originally was. You know what I'm saying? So, kudos to the Warriors, kudos to Steve Kerr for trying to make the necessary adjustments throughout. But eventually, Toronto proved to be just, the healthier team and then honestly the better team throughout the series and was able to close it out last night. But yeah, overall, man, what did you think about the series in general?
I think all the pieces fell in Toronto's lap. All right, now I'm not taking credit from them because they had to go out and do it. They still had to go out and play the games. They still faced, Steph Curry, Klay Thompson, kinda. They still faced, legitimate all-star players. They still faced legitimate defensive player of the year player. You know what I mean? So I'm not taking it away from them, but they did not get the Golden State Warriors. Like they didn't get a full Golden State. Thompson missed one game, one and a quarter of a game, basically. Durant missed all but 11 minutes. You know what I mean? Like they didn't really play. They didn't play a full team over there. So for them to not have played a full team and then not have blown these guys out in any game but one, that really goes to show that if they were healthy, this very well may have been a sweep. But I can't knock Toronto. Everything fell in their lap perfectly and they executed. It's crazy that they were able to win those 3 games in Oracle. Like out of the 6 games they played, 3 of their wins were in Oracle. To me, that's just crazy. That doesn't even sound right. Like if you looked at a 4-2 series win, you would assume most, the winning team got 2 wins at least at home, maybe 3. Nah, they got 3 away. Like that's a lot harder than it sounds, especially for a stadium or an arena that's closing. So every single night you're catching the fans at their best. Like that goes into account. You know what I mean? So they really caught, like, I don't know. I just feel like on the court they caught the best breaks possible and they executed. I mean, Kyle Lowry came to play, Siakam came to play. Marc Gasol, I don't know what he did because statistically he didn't do nothing, but maybe he was a factor at some point that I didn't see in the game. But outside of that game 1 when he had that 20-7, I think he was pretty much irrelevant. He got subbed out a lot in fourth quarters for Serge Ibaka. I think it was the last 3 games. He missed like the last 7 or 8 minutes of each game for Sergey. So Sergey, I think that's how you're technically supposed to say his name.
Okay.
I'm trying here. And
fair enough.
and so all in all, at the end of the day, man, I'm really happy for them, man. I'm happy for Toronto. I'm happy for the city. Happy for Canada. I think they deserved it, man. They did what they had to do. They came to play. I saw someone said this is karma for Zaza Pachulia hurting Kawhi Leonard a couple years ago. Kind of make right.
That's a lot of karma.
I was like, that's kind of I mean,
but like
that sounds kind of right. Like, it's crazy, man. I don't think Toronto winning the championship alters the NBA as a going forward, but I just think that definitely helps them become a more respected city in the NBA. I do think that.
Yeah, they're the NBA champions, man. You got nothing but you can't do nothing but respect them. And yeah, like you said, I agree with you. You can't take nothing away from Toronto. They came out and they played against the team that was in front of them. And yeah, it was a hurt Golden State team. And I agree with you. If they did have Kevin Durant and they did have a healthy Klay Thompson throughout the series, then I don't think it would have been a sweep. But I think Golden State definitely would have pulled it